I hate losing. I hate losing as a coach. I hated losing as a competitor. I hate losing in anything that I do within my day-to-day process. But loss and losing is a part of being an athlete. Coach Cam fam, today we're going to talk about losing and one of the most common themes I've noticed with athletes that I work with for why you lose. Now, nobody likes it, and inevitably the winners are the athletes that are celebrated, but there's a whole process that goes into what helps you get to that point. Now, throughout my whole athletic lifetime, there was a bunch of things that I learned in different tools, but there was something that was hidden, and we're gonna talk about that thing today, specifically with your thought process and how you approach everything that goes into competition. Now, before I give you all the tools, make sure that you subscribe, like, and share this video. This video is exactly what I want to do for all athletes, whether it's professional, amateur, or just little league. I want to help you guys get better and learn the skills that it takes to not only help you with your athletics, but everything that goes into life, and there's a lot to it. So, step one, let's talk about what goes into losing. Now, losing can have a whole bunch of different reasons that lead to that moment, whether it's environmental, it's personal, it's because of a coach, a parent, or you just don't feel good on the day of competition. But the one thing that I want to talk about today is losing before your loss. Now, what the heck does that mean? A lot of athletes actually self-sabotage and lose before the match or game itself. And I am here to talk about that. When you're in a rut or you've gone through multiple losses or lost a tournament that you put a lot of effort into, it creates a level of doubt in yourself for if you're able to put down the things that you want to within your sport, whether it's the skills, the mindset, listening to your coach, and everything that goes into the chaos of competition. There's one thing though that holds everybody back, and that is worry. It sounds simple, but worry is the thing that stands between you and the result. When I put worry in the middle, that's what deviates the whole process and takes you away from just saying, okay, I need to perform something and do it, versus I need to perform something. I'm worried about the outcome of what will happen if I do this thing or if I don't do this thing, or all the thoughts that go into it, and then that's what prevents you from getting to your outcome. Now, I understand. Everything revolves around a person or a team winning and a person or a team losing. But the things that help you get to that top point are everything that goes in between. The actual game itself is what's going to help propel you and learn and grow and go through all of it, which takes me to the next point. You don't have a growth mindset. A lot of athletes are looking for the accolades, and specifically only for the big results. If I'm working towards a competition, I only want the gold medal. I don't think about getting the silver, the bronze. I hope to get on the podium, but everybody's intentions are to get that gold. Now, the worry kicks in of if I could get that gold, if I could get to the podium, what if this person does this, or what if this athlete reacts like this? What if I'm not ready on that day? And everything that goes into the mix, which holds you back from being your true self. Focusing specifically on outcomes is good, and it's basically the dangling fruit in front of you that keeps you motivated to be successful in your sport. But the reality is, outcomes don't make you get better. Outcomes are great, we want them, but they don't help you along the way. So where do we go from this? If I'm telling you that worry and being stressed about the results of something before it even happens are what holds you back and puts you in the worst possible case to be successful, so then what do you actually do? Here's what takes me to the next thing. You need to actually start enjoying and thinking about the process. Let me pause for a second. In a specific moment in my life, I was getting ready for the University World Championships in 2018. This is a karate tournament that involves all these athletes from all around the world that are not only in the age group of being in university, but they're also representative of their national team. I went to this tournament, and 2 years prior I had gone to it as well, and I had absolutely got destroyed. Over 2 years, I was burning inside for everything that went into that loss and the underperformance that happened that day. I will tell you, I threw up before competition because I couldn't handle my nerves. I was shaking before the match started. I lost to someone that skill level was not in my wheelhouse and is something that I should easily be able to win. And it hurt so bad to see all these athletes that I grew up with successful, and then myself just not come ready to play. So then fast forward to 2018 when I went to the same event, but now it's on a different stage in Kobe, Japan. The whole 2-year process leading into that, I will tell you one thing. I was training myself not to worry about the results. I didn't really care about if I won or I lost, but I held on to one thing in specific, and that was I need to go out and perform. I don't care what happens after that, but I'm going to do everything I need to do to perform my best. I will tell you right now, in the 2 months leading to that competition, they were not easy months. Number one, my training partners were either on vacation or they were celebrating or they didn't want to come to practice because it's summertime. I was by myself a lot of the days that I trained. 4 or 5 days of the week when I was training, I was by myself. I didn't have any training partners, just a stationary Bob. On top of that, during that time, we were in the Olympic run, so I had to fundraise, work extra, and make money just to fund myself to get to these trips because they weren't funded by Team USA. I had to sell my car 2 weeks before I went to that trip. So now, no car, no everything else. It's really easy to get sucked into that mindset of like, well, I'm doing all of this stuff. I have to get a result. I have to win. No, you don't. You can do everything right as an athlete, but if you put yourself in perspectives that are only focused on the outcomes and saying, I deserve something and I should earn it just because I've done something for it, it's not gonna happen. All the stuff in preparation that we do needs to be deliberate so that on the day of competition, you do everything to perform. And once you perform and you're focused solely on the performance and not everything surrounding it, then you're able to be your true self, which is exactly what happened when I showed up to that competition. The number 2 ranked fighter in the world was in my category, who is supposed to be the guy to beat. Inevitably, I did all the things to focus on just staying present within the matches and within the actual fights themselves, and I ended up coming up and going to the finals. A funny takeaway from this event was that even I was so wrapped up in the moment, so engaged in saying, what's next, what's next? I had finished my semifinal match, and I was looking at my coaches and they were like, okay, Cam, you're done. But I didn't know. I was so sucked into the process of what was going on that I actually didn't know I made it to the finals. In my mind, I had another fight to go to. I had another fight before I made it to the finals. My coaches are telling me no, they're fighting me off, and I'm looking at them, I'm yelling at them. I'm so engaged in the moment that I'm telling them they're wrong. No, I need to fight another one. I need to fight another one. Go get an ice pack so I can put it on my neck to bring my body, like my heart rate down. I need to fight another. I'm going so intense, but they're the ones saying, no, you're good. Inevitably, they were right and I was wrong. But the whole premise of that is that everything that was leading into that moment, I sacrificed, I gave, I worked, not for the medal, but solely because I wanted to perform. So once you guys really start focusing on the process, enjoying and putting effort and presence within the process instead of what the results are, then it allows you to be your best self so that you can get the results. So what I'm asking to do then is change your relationship with competition, not to be afraid of what could happen, what should happen, predict things. No, focus on performing and do the things that will help you perform better. Of course, you're going to be nervous. Of course, you want to succeed. So that brings out another level of passion, care, stress, but you should enjoy this stuff. We don't get to compete every single day, and even if you have games that are in season or games are every other day, they're not every day, they're not every moment. So we need to start looking at them as opportunities and opportunities for growth rather than opportunities to judge if you're doing good or you're doing bad. Overall, this is something that needs to help us focus more on performing. And once you start focusing on performing and improving your performance, you start learning more. And when you start learning more, you start enjoying your sport more, whatever it might be. If you start enjoying your sport more, then you can focus on the things that will help you be successful within it. And your rut or your plateau will be broken. I don't believe in them. I think they're things that people say to start comforting why they start losing. But no, you just need to keep learning or adapting what you need to do to move forward. So then that brings me to the final closing point of you need to start doing with what aligns with you. If you know that you are successful when you have a good night's of sleep, stop going to bed late. It's really that simple. Athletes are amazing in that they're able to work through extremely adverse situations. For myself, I was in competitions where the training space or the warm-up area was extremely tiny, or I didn't have a warm-up, all the way to ones where I had the perfect warm-up. And you're able to come up with how to perform great, even in those adverse situations, or you don't feel good, or you are injured, or whatever it might be. But when it comes to day-to-day stuff, athletes sometimes get lazy, especially elite level ones, in doing the small things to then help them be successful. Competitions, especially at elite levels or the level that you're at. So if you are intermediate and you're going up against intermediate level athletes, or elite and going up against elite, it's a series of small things that make the large difference in the long run. A lot of athletes might be having bad days, but all the little things that they do to help them have their great performance are what allows them to be great. And I'm asking you guys now to do that same thing. Dial everything to a 10. So if you need to sleep, you sleep. If you know that eating a certain food is going to help you, do that. Don't veg out after you have a weight cut and you weigh in just because you want to. Do the things that are actually going to help you and be conscious of that. That way, when it gets time to perform, you have the confidence to say, I've done what I need to do to be successful in this moment. And as a result, I'm going to take that next step and focus on what I need to do to be successful when I play. Thank you guys for tuning in again, and I hope that we can start winning even more. Losing is a part of the process, and the process is what creates growth and for you guys to be successful both in sport and in your life. So with that, comment down below with any of the challenges you guys might be having with competing or competition in any sport, and I'll make sure to get those same topics talked about in a future video. Till next time, let's keep learning.